All right, folks, welcome back to the shop. Frank here, working on the mini motor grader ripper assembly. So I've got some metal on the table. I'm going to cut out a couple little parts I need, spacers for the large ripper shanks, and then we'll get into cutting out the parts that will support the 4-link assembly that will handle the ripper bar, move it up and down, that sort of thing. So I'm going to go over to the plasma table, we'll cut out some small parts, and then I've got the larger parts modeled in Fusion, G-code created, so we'll just go ahead and cut them out of 3/8 inch steel. All right, so of course what I'm doing here is cutting out these 1/4 inch. I originally cut some 3/8 inch spacers, but they're just too thick. So cutting out these thinner spacers. So of course they get tack welded to the side of the large shanks, and they just take up some space in the holder so that they don't have as much slop. So, and this one right here, I need to. So anyway, that's what these are. Unfortunately, I'd already cut some out of the 3/8, but that's okay. I got to use up parts of a piece of scrap here. To order another bottle of anchor lube here. All right, so that's the top brace. I'll weld this to this plate, completely, and then the bottom piece comes out from this frame member out to this plate. So we'll get that, clamp it on, tack it up. So bolts through here, welded to the back of that. I think that's going to look fine. It's going to be a good fit. All right, let's see if we can tack this a couple spots. Maybe good to set your clutch like that so you don't break your wrist. Okay, let me get some bolts. So these are these holes I drilled and tapped because it's angle iron. It's much thicker. It's as much. This has 2 layers of angle iron, so it's 1/4 inch of thread. Here is just 1/8 of an inch, 11 gauge. I think it's 1/8 of an inch, 11 gauge. So, oh, except the top here has a piece of angle iron on it, so maybe it's maybe 1/4 of an inch. These are just 1/8 of an inch, so they'll be through bolted. So I'm going to go ahead and get a couple bolts in here anyway. I haven't drilled this bottom hole yet because this clamp is in the way. That clutch is a little annoying sound, but I think it's better than breaking your wrist. Alright, so I haven't tightened these all the way. Just drop the nut on that one. Alright. Need a longer one for here, actually. These two. Are okay. That one I dropped the nut. Let's go around the other side. Do the same thing. Okay, got that tacked. I'm doing this with a 3/8 inch drill, basically to get a center, basically a center point, center punch. And then I'm drilling with a smaller drill. So for stuff like this, if I don't need a specific size, I'll pick an odd size bit. I think this is 17/64 or something, just to get a smaller hole. A lot easier to drill this and then follow it up with the 3/8 inch drill. And that's a lot faster than trying to drill straight through with the 3/8. Okie doke. I got one more to drill here. My clamp's in the way. Let's see what happens if I do this. Okay. Doesn't move. That's good. Okay, so all the bolts will fit there. All right, so I need to take this off and finish welding it up. All right, she be hot. Let it cool. So I've been working on the attachment points for the 4-link system to the ripper assembly. And what I've come up with is this adapter, which will slide on here, weld it to both sides of the ripper box, and also weld it to the shank holder. That'll give it extra support. I'm getting ready to cut these. This was just a prototype out of 16 gauge. So I'm gonna go ahead and cut 2 of these out of 3/8 inch. I'm really going to use 3/8. I know I keep saying I'm going to use one thickness and I wind up using something else because I have a scrap and it doesn't make any difference. So what I think I'm going to do and what I finally do depends on, you know, what I have available. But I do have 3/8 inch on the plasma table right now, and I do think this warrants 3/8 inch material. I do need, you know, once I get this, you know, these 2 things mounted, then this will be spaced away by 10 or 12 inches. There'll be another connection point at the bottom of this support plate and up here, and there'll be a hydraulic cylinder between this point up here and the bottom of the support plate, the tractor plate. Okay. All right, so that's basically a perfect fit right there. Doesn't interfere with the shanks. All right, cut one more. All right, I've got the new attachment points here, parts cut out, and they basically match this. All right, I think it's just now a matter of cleaning the paint off the bar here and welding these attachment brackets to the bar. Let's see if I'm anywhere near square on these. Well, that's pretty close. That's way off. Much smaller than my normal tack. All right, that's square. That's not quite. All right, so that's my eyes are closed. right, so there. Down here it's 11 7/8, outside to outside. Up here it's 11 3/4. So this is a little bit, so this could go apart just a hair. That's square. Yeah, this could go out that way just a little bit. Like that, maybe. Oh, that's exactly right. 11 7/8. That's square. That's square. Let's tack them while I got them straight. All right, that matches up really close. So I think that'll be plenty close enough. All right, clearance for the pins, both sides. I think all that is straight. Well, I'll weld these between now and the next episode. I want to just think about it for a day. I'm going to let it sit. I'll come back and weld it either tonight or tomorrow. All right, folks, that's it for this week. Didn't want these videos to get too much longer than they are already. I'm pretty stoked about the attachment points. When I made the decision to go to the 4-link method, was, still, I figured that I could come up with an arrangement that would work. I think this is actually looks good and will work great. I have no question about that. So I'm happy to see that materialize here. And I'll come back probably offline between now and next episode, finish welding these attachment brackets to the ripper bar, and probably get some paint on the mounting plate that goes on the back of the motor grader. So we'll come back next week, fitting that mounting plate back up to the motor grader, cutting out some arms to fit between the two, and hopefully get the ripper set back behind the motor grader and at least do a test fit up with it. So I'll look around for a hydraulic cylinder. I might have one here that will work for this. I have several left over from other projects that I bought and they didn't quite work, so they're still sitting around here. But anyway, subscribe if you haven't already subscribed, or if you're a new viewer, please subscribe. It really helps the channel. I've got several thousand new subscribers in the past month, which is fabulous. If you're enjoying the content, put a like or a thumbs up on the video and ring the notification bell so you get notified of new episodes. I do publish one a week on Thursdays at 7 p.m. Eastern Time. And thank you for watching. We'll see you next week.